In just the last few days, Trump has talked about the enemy from within, and he threatened to use the U.S. military, if elected, to round up his political opponents. And he said this time and again. He's abandoned his speech midway and decided to play music from his playlist, including the gay anthem YMCA, swaying disturbingly throughout. Why isn't he getting the same questions about mental fitness?
And it is about a year ago that Donald Trump said that he was going to hold a press conference and was going to reveal definitive, dispositive evidence that he is not guilty. And, that never happened. It sort of came and went. And so this is his opportunity. If he thinks he's being treated unfairly and he doesn't have the opportunity to respond, the judge said, you absolutely do. And so on one hand, you have almost 2,000 pages, and on the other, you have zero.
Nothing has changed. No, if that is clickbait or that is ratings bait, we should treat it that way. That's what we're seeing from a lot of mainstream outlets is they want to make money on this election and scare us into watching and clicking and so forth. And we need to make sure that there's other folks like you, Stephanie, who are actually saying what's going on, and we'll still listen, even though it's better news. But we don't need to be scared into paying attention. We're paying attention anyway.
Right.
Don't put your finger on the scale, but it seems like a lot of these outlets are.
Yep. Well, you tweeted Donald Trump refusing to abide by the results of November's election. In 2016, he refused. The media failed to call him out. In 2020, he refused, led the January 6th conspiracy and insurrection. 2024, he's refusing again. Will anyone hold him accountable? As the guy that nailed him for Trump University fraud, you must think, what... that should have been the nail in a political coffin, but how many nails have there been since then, right?
Right. I mean, just that alone it would have been absolutely devastating to 99% of other political candidates pre-Trump. It would have been done. The Access Hollywood thing just would have been curtains. If that had been any other politician, they would have withdrawn within 24 hours of that coming out.
And now he's a 34-count convicted felon adjudicated rapist.
That didn't knock him out. That didn't knock him out. Nope. Didn't knock him out.
And swing to music for 40 minutes on stage.
Yep.
After the media chased Joe Biden out of the race for having a bad debate.
Right. We know he's not going to withdraw. We know that people like Mitch McConnell aren't going to say that he should quit. But the fact that the media establishment won't, with a single voice, say that he is unfit for the presidency the way that they did with Joe Biden in the summer is just absolutely appalling.
Yeah.
The double standard there has been absolutely appalling and frankly disqualifying for any future credibility for any of those outlets.
And by the way, Republicans behind closed doors, Tristan, say worse than we do practically about Donald Trump. They're just such cowards.
Yeah. But they're cowards.
And you said Trump refusing to produce his tax records because they showed him committing massive fraud, paying almost nothing in taxes, and generally being a failure at business. Trump is refusing to produce his medical records. What is he hiding now? Well, it's pretty obvious that he is morbidly obese, mentally declining, nearly 80-year-old man. I mean, and these are the big media stories. You're like, where are you? I mean, with what we all can see with our eyes and ears, right?
And then it means that what people are really electing when they're electing Donald Trump or voting for Donald Trump, praying he's not getting elected. But when people are voting for Donald Trump, they're really voting for J.D. Vance.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes.
That's the problem. And I think a lot of people are not prepared for what that's going to entail because Trump's pretty much bought by these weird tech billionaires.
Yeah.
Vance is a creation of the weird tech billionaires, and some of the views that Vance has are just absolutely, completely bananas. If you think Trump's crazy, good grief.
Yeah, and speaking of, he's the one on record saying Trump's America's Hitler, and then he's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, did I say Hitler? I meant Gandhi." I don't think that.
As you do.
As you do.
But
Yeah.
it's just, you're so good at, the media criticism in addition to the legal stuff, Tristan. And, just the McDonald's thing. You said Trump, quote unquote, worked at McDonald's the same way he, quote unquote, drove a truck. To him, work is just cosplay. And you said any news outlet that covers his appearance without reporting that the McDonald's was closed, never ever watch, read, click on them, or trust them again. They have zero journalistic credibility. And in the meantime, I always say, what's distracting from what? In the meantime, he's talking about Arnold Palmer's. Yep. And, calling Vice President Harris a vice president. And it just, nobody that you would ever want your child to grow up to be or be around. No. But they're covering the McDonald's stunt, right?
He used the McDonald's stunt as the moment because when he stuck his head out that drive-through window, it was to talk to reporters, not to serve anything for the most part. And the few people that he did serve were stage supporters, right? The kicker is that he used the McDonald's moment as the point when he said he wasn't going to abide by the results of the election.
Yeah,
right. He used the publicity stunt as the moment to sort of like throw that in there, and that wasn't the headline.
To
the
distract
headline
from
was Manchin's fries,
using the military against. His political, God bless Jessica Tarloff, our new best friend. This is on Fox.
Also coming from the other side, this is Joy Behar calling Trump a fascist. This was last week, and the Wall Street Journal takes it on in a new headline. Listen.
I think that to say that he's a fascist is completely accurate. I mean, it does fit the definition. He wants to send the military in to attack his opponents. I mean, what more do you really need to hear?
So fair to say there's questions about this on both sides, really, right?
No, well, Joy Behar is responding to things Donald Trump said, not the other way around. And you've seen Donald Trump himself and then J.D. Vance this morning on our own air with Bill Hemmer and Dana struggling to talk about the enemy within comments. He's been given the opportunity to walk it back, to say, oh, maybe I shouldn't name check Adam Schiff and the Pelosi's. And he continues with it. He thinks that Democrats are the enemy within.
Yeah. First of all, Trump's own general is the one that said not just he's fascist to the core. This is a guy that's been in the Situation Room with him, right? Yep. So this is not just like name calling or something, right?
No, this is not name calling. And I mean, it's also why, it's 40 of the 44 people who served in Trump's cabinet are not supporting him for president this time around.
Right. Or as he says, a vast majority is supporting him.
97%.
He's not good at math.
So I mean it's just absolutely been, he's got other people that are sort of the like lower, like the people that are just down from that are supporting him. A lot of them, by the way, were authors of Project 2025.
Yeah.
But like the people who were in those rooms with him, that were in the Oval, that were in the Situation Room, that were in the cabinet room with him, they've seen enough.
Yeah.
They saw it and they're like, I'm not supporting that guy again. He's unstable. He's unserious, but he's also just a mortal threat to the Republic.
Yeah.
We can't have him back in there, even if you are a really right-wing Republican.
Yeah. I'm not good at math either, but
40
out of your 44 cabinet secretaries are not supporting you.
It's a lot.